Super RC. This game's pretty hard, so I'm just replaying the initial trial levels and trying to like really master them. I tried to do a race and I just couldn't quite do it, but I'm doing pretty good on the first training level. I figure maybe stick with this a little bit longer and I can see I often win this and I often have pretty good times, but there's still times that I don't. There's still times that I crash out. So I want to get to a point where I can really nail the first level without making mistakes, and then go on to the second level and kind of do some reps on that as well. I don't want to be relying on luck so much. Oh, crashed into a wall. Yeah, and I want to be able to do it without crashing into the wall, too.
29 seconds, 900.
The game feels really good, though.
Milliseconds.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good now.
Seconds, 34 milliseconds.
Oh, touched the edge a couple times. Not too bad, but a little bit. I do get the impression that the developers of this game are probably pretty good at driving RC cars, and they kind of overestimate other people's skills. I think the general audience is going to find this game to be excruciatingly difficult. But you know, with these training levels, it's fairly easy to fix that. All you have to do is increase the time allotments. And you know, especially for the early ones, it feels like this game is really expecting that you're going to be able to do these without making any mistakes. And I think refactoring the time requirements so that maybe you're expecting that there's going to be a mistake, that, you know, the player's going to crash into the wall or spin out one time and still be able to make it, could really help. I mean, but it's easy to reformulate the time requirements for these. If you just knew what a typical player is going to be able to do, you know, like I'm sure that people, if they, you know, put some time into this, if they play it for several days. Oh, I spun out. I can't even stop spinning out. I'm sure that, you know, anyone who puts the time in and, you know, diligently practices can get good at this. And that's really kind of what you want from this experience. You know, I think the developers here are trying to create like a really authentic RC car experience, and that takes time and practice. But at the same time, I think a lot of people want to just be able to kind of get in and play and enjoy a lot of content. So you don't want to gatekeep them for several days of practice before they finally get to a point where they can drive cleanly enough to beat the training missions and do the races.
27
Oh, that was a pretty good lap.
940.
I just have to have
milliseconds.
2 more of those. Yeah, and also maybe having some more trainings that are single laps. I really think instead of having like 5 training levels, I keep crashing. Instead of having 5 training levels, they really could have like 100, and just
6 seconds. 544.
give you a much more gradual. Oh, I'm dead. give you a much more gradual building of skill. And then at the same time, I think I think a lot of people really do want to get in and do races early on. You don't want to do like 100 training levels. But I guess what I'm thinking is, okay, so if I go in and do the races, so I've got these two NPCs over here that are both racing too, but you can see that the NPCs are already like very proficient RC car racers, and they don't make mistakes. Like if I make a single mistake, I'm out of the race, and even if I don't make significant mistakes, it's hard for me to keep up with them. And I think, if you were actually doing RC car racing like this, you probably find that everyone is proficient. But it is quite a barrier of entry, and so...
135
And I think there are things that you could do, like, imagine that instead of having these as adult NPCs over there, imagine they were kindergartners.
Mechanical mayhem.
Oh. Yeah, imagine that I was racing against kindergartners, and they were just like crashing and making the same kind of mistakes that I make. Maybe they even make a lot more mistakes. And it could just be like fun and hilarious to watch everyone crashing out all the time, and you have to find a way to drive through the crashes. Maybe it'd be fun if you had like 16 kindergartners playing all at the same time, so it's just like absolute chaos. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is I think there's ways to maintain the authenticity, but also decrease the difficulty level. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm making mistakes and I can't catch up. Yeah, maybe you want to maintain the authenticity that you're not going to call yourself good until you really have a strong proficiency of this, and you can, drive around competitively without hitting walls and stuff. Ugh. But maybe you can frame that around, like, you're racing with babies, and at the end of the race, maybe you, instead of winning a trophy, you win, like, a diaper or something like that. Just make it real silly until you get to a point where you're proficient enough that you can race against better NPCs. Oh, look at that. I am catching up a little bit. Ooh. This is the best I've done, by the way, even though I am making a bunch of mistakes. Yeah, I'm not going to win, though. But I'm not doing terrible.
7 seconds, 211 milliseconds.
Well, and especially for a race where you have to do, I don't know how many laps we're doing here, 4 or 5 laps or something. It's hard for me to do 5 laps without making mistakes. Okay, I'm not going to be able to recover from that one. Ugh. Total wipeout! Ugh. Anyway. I'm loving these tracks, though. These tracks feel like very authentic tracks that you might pay a lot of money to race at a hobby shop.
5 milliseconds.
But yeah, if you assume that it's going to take you a week of practice before you can start to be competitive against these things, maybe just splitting the training content up so that you're able to still do a lot of things and see a lot of content in that week as it gets slowly, progressively more difficult and lets you build your skills. The new steering in the update makes a huge difference for me when I'm going along the straightaways.
Wipeout!
You know, with the previous steering,
Spot down, but still
I was never able to get it straightened out on the straightaways, but now it's like my hands automatically go back to their relaxed position on the straightaways, and so it helps a lot. Whoa! Bumping into cars doesn't help a lot, though. Anyway, I am getting better, but... Well, and that's the thing, is like, in terms of difficulty, I don't want the game to be easier in that, like, I don't want the car handling to be easier. I don't want to have a bunch of, like, assists that auto-stabilize the car. I want it to be authentic. I just want to have a slower, more graceful learning curve before I'm expected to be good. Oh. I guess I still haven't figured out which way to steer when I'm going backwards. I feel like I'm rewiring my brain, though. I am starting to get this. Even though I'm apparently a very slow learner. Maybe it's because I'm in my 40s and I just don't have the neuroplasticity that I used to. But I remember the Ultra Wings and Ultra Wings 2 had, you know, similar learning curves where those games, you know, they didn't dumb down the flying. They kept the authenticity of the flight model. But there were an awful lot of missions that kind of ease you into the difficulty, where you're just flying through a couple of easy rings and stuff. Ooh, ouch. That was nasty. I have no idea how long this race is supposed to be. Did I lose and I just didn't even see it?
28 seconds. 650.
Seems like I've been going a long time.
Non-stop! Love it! The race is almost over. Who's going
Oh,
to make
race
it
is almost over. Oh, I thought that was going to be the last lap, but
incredible drift
maybe there's still one more. Oh.
One more lap to go!
Final lap.
599.
All right, I can still take him. I could have been a contender. Oh. Yeah, so I'm not actually doing that awful,
Happy!
but I also don't think I can consistently hit the track times enough to win. Because of those jerks over there. I want to be able to race against kindergartners so I can win every time. Good game.